Uh-oh, the meeting is being live streamed.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
Okay. So what I click, got it?
Yeah, that's all you got to do. All right, all right. I'm going to share the feed. Hello, hello. Welcome to the Palms Up Show. Give me 1 minute. I'll share the feed and we're going to get started. Thank you again so much for joining the show. All right, all right. Hello, hello, Mr. Antonio Ford. How are you?
All is well in yourself. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Welcome to the Palms Up Show, where each week is something is liable to go wrong. But I tell you what, God is in control, and so excited to have you on the show this week. I am actually, let's make sure I'm doing this. Trying to get rid of this. There you are. All righty, we're gonna add our third call and we're gonna get started. There you go. Boy, I tell you, this technology will throw you for a loop. Our
Thank
overseer Cole should be joining us soon. Our Facebook folks should be joining in as well. Overseer Cole, have you made it to the platform? Well, Mr. Ford, she'll be jumping in, and please don't be alarmed. Welcome, welcome to the Palms Up Show. I am your host, Dr. Rhonda L. Hamilton, and you guys out there, our loyal followers, Palms Up, our loyal followers know how much I love this technology. But I tell you what, I'll go to the ends of the earth to make sure that I can bring you this message and bring you this word, especially when we get the opportunity to interview a boss like our guest today, Mr. Antonio Ford, aka the Food Lord. They tell me he's the writer and the director of a show called The Emergency Room. Palms up to you, Mr. Ford. How are you?
I'm feeling divine long as I can use my mind. Thank you. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You know, we have a studio, a mad studio, and we call it Mindfully Making a Difference because, you know, they say in mental health, we must be mad out of our mind. We must be crazy to have some kind of mental health. So we like to put a play on words. So it's interesting that you said using your mind. We love it when we use our mind and our talents for good. So sit back for a minute. Welcome to the Palms Up platform. We're going to welcome our dear Overseer Coles, who looks like she's having just as much fun as we are with this crazy technology. Hello, our dear sister, Palms Up, and how you doing to you, Overseer? Uh-oh. There she go. Hit the button again. We can't hear you. How you doing? We're going to give her time to find her voice because we can't hear her. But what I want you guys to know is that word on the street, guys, we love doing this Palms Up show. You know, we've been busy. Those of you that know us, you know that we're all over this city, and that's on purpose, and that's intentional, because did you know that we got over 300,000 Washingtonians that are not voting and not engaged? And boy, with the problems in our city, our dear mayor and our council are fighting over the crime bill. They tell me, I don't know what they fighting for. Not like they out here living with all this gun violence and these housing issues and homelessness and pitching tents. So when our elected officials start fighting, guys, you know, we've got to come to the table and elevate. Tonight's show topic is raising the consciousness of our folk so that we can advance the culture. Anybody out there ready to advance? Because we've got to be able to come out of this gun violence, out of this homelessness, this mental health crisis that's going on across our nation's capital. There's so much going on, but guys, in the midst of all of that, we got some bosses amongst us, some bosses that are pushing the envelope forward and recognizing that Black excellence needs to be on display, most definitely now more than ever. Guys, I want you to join the Palms Up show in a moment of silence. We lost a dear hero, another boss. Mr. Tommy Broadwater has transitioned, I've been informed, and I am so happy to be able to have attended his final hoorah. It's nice to get your flowers while you're still here. Well, tonight's guest is going to join us in helping you to elevate and raise your consciousness around our nutrition, around the understanding of our creativities. And a lot of times when we hear someone else's journey, we can find our own purpose or find something that we'd like to do. And Mr. Ford, we sure have been meeting a lot of your cohorts. Miss Lacey Lace, this actress, they speak so highly of you. Miss Joanne, very excited. And Denise, a lot of folks have mentioned, you know, we got to get Mr. Ford on the Palms Up show. So first and foremost, I want to thank you for taking and making the time. You're a very busy and accomplished young man. But without any further ado, I want to invite my overseer, Coles, to come in. Have you got that voice worked out yet, that sound? No? Look at that look. Well, Mr. Ford, we're used to it, so we just have to, you know, find some humor in a space of frustration. But we are the mental health outreach platform, and we bring you guys guests from all around our dear DMV, because it is important that you guys know in the midst of the struggle, there is still positive energies out there. And you know how much we love positive energies on the Palms Up show. We're going to invite Mr. Ford to come into the space and help us to understand some of the work that he's been doing. I'm taking my time with the intro because I want to make certain that you guys are finding us. We're coming through the YouTube feed this week. And boy, I tell you, we're excited to be here. Mr. Ford is the writer and director, if you didn't hear me say at the top of the show, of the stage play called The Emergency Room. Just the name of that has us intrigued. So we're looking forward to hearing about his motivation, the process for writing such a script. But most importantly, he's the food lord. So we know that he's got a lot to share with us. Tell me, he's been doing it for decades with an S. So he knows a little something. So Mr. Ford, thank you again. I believe our folks have made it in their seats. And guys, if you haven't shared the feed already, you know we depend on you all. Share the feed so we can get this word out. Mr. Ford, welcome, welcome. So they tell me you are the writer and director of a play called The Emergency Room. Why
Yes.
The Emergency Room? I'll just start there. What was it about that title that we should understand, or what was the creative understandings behind that title?
You know, the emergency rooms would be less urgent if people took better care of their health. I wanted to write a play that would be edutaining, but yet it will be funny. And so I decided to write a play based around the experiences that we have with meat and meds. And so I put together a very powerful play that's about like I said, about meats and meds. And I did it in a very funny way, but it's very edutaining as well. So
Mm.
it
So,
took me.
so let's start there with the meats and the meds. You obviously having a background in food. What was it that you were seeing that you felt basing a show around meat and meds would send a message? Because I hear you when you say edutaining. Obviously, we like to laugh, but sometimes we have to learn and grow. So, what was your intent, and what was it about meat and meds you felt that would help, bring forward that message in your script?
Well, before I give you that piece, one thing an animal-based diet does best is kill people. It kills people by restricting your blood and oxygen from flowing freely throughout your cardiovascular system. And as your cardiovascular systems malfunction, it malfunctions your immune system, your respiratory system, and your nervous system. And so I decided, because so many people over the years have been saying, man, don't worry about what I eat. I'm going to eat what I want, and how I want it. And then as time progressed, I noticed these same people that uttered those words out their mouth came to me later on in their life, asking me to help them to resuscitate their health.
Wow.
So I know that people love to laugh and they're really slow on learning. Once we get out of school, we really don't have an interest in furthering our education. But education is a process that's from the cradle to the grave.
That's
And
right.
and most people, they stop after their primary learning experience with college, high school, junior high, elementary school.
Mm.
So
Okay.
I was excited about writing a play. It hit me like none of my other projects. I could be laying in the bed at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I jump up out the bed. My wife said, "What's wrong, baby? I just had a thought. I gotta start writing." So I would jump out the bed and grab the pen and pad and start writing, or I would dash straight in from work and start writing a play. It came to me fluidly. So
Mm.
a whole lot of space between me trying to figure out the next scene.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And I want to say that this was a divine play because I call my food information a food ministry.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I like to resurrect people who's died from the grave. So,
From the grave. Wow, that's deep. Come on, I'm with you, soldier.
so as I started writing the play, I started coming up with the ideas of my characters. So I named all of the characters around food.
Mm.
And so
Mm.
all of my characters had food names. Neck
Give us
bone,
a giving us example of what you mean by food names. Give us an example.
like one of my characters' name is Neckbone Rollins.
I knew it was gonna be something. Okay, come on, Neckbone Rollins. All
That's
right.
neck with 2 Ks. Okay. My other character is Hershey Bar. I have another character, Cherry Chan. I have another one, Reverend Cheese from the Fat Back Tabernacle Episcopal Church of Jesus Christ. So I named all of the characters around food to make
Uh-huh.
it more eye appealing and ear appealing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so my goal is to edutain you from the beginning of the show to the very last drop of it.
Mm-hmm. That is awesome. We know what you mean when you say you have to package it a certain way. You got to package it and make sure we got that message in there. Being advocates of mental health and doing outreach work, we can't show up in the community talking about, hey, it's the mental health show. Everybody not lining up for that. But if we
Right.
package it through our reading programs, our support mechanisms, our outreach, our golf, and our activism, then we can get more to the table. So I certainly understand that. It sounds very entertaining already, and I haven't even heard the premise. So, would you tell us a little bit more about the play without giving it away so folks know to get tickets? And we want to get all that good information from you as well.
So, like I was saying, the emergency room is a play based off sheer edutainment, and if you're not careful, you're going to learn something. And it's based off of our common experience with meat and meds. Today, people eat so much meat, right, that is malfunctioning our health from eating our cartilage away, making our hair fall out, amputation of breasts and prostate and tonsils and fibroids and thyroids, arthritis and gout. I mean, all of these diseases are benign. Now, let me just stress off the breakaway. I'm in no kind of way trying to promote or convert anybody to become a vegan, but I do to insert more superfoods. That's the gist of my show. While you're eating your favorite meat, seafood, cheese, and dairy, it is known that it leaves cholesterol. Now you can bake it, you can steam it. It can be from Whole Foods or Hell's Kitchen. It can light meat or dark meat. It can come from land. All animals leave one thing behind, and that's cholesterol. And the cholesterol is responsible for the biggest health disaster in human history. Okay. So my goal is to slow up the body bags and to jumpstart people to health and wellness again. And what a lot of people don't know is a lot of the mental health issues that people are experiencing today are directly connected to the food that they are consuming, the drinks that they are consuming, and the snacks that they are consuming. People say, oh, I'm just going to eat a little comfort food. But that comfort food actually makes you uncomfortable. So my goal in sitting in that theater is to make you laugh because I know people love to laugh. So I was able to stitch it with laughter and edutainment at the same time.
Now,
it's
where did you
camouflage. And you know how the parents had to mix the vegetables in the mashed potatoes. Don't let out know that vegetables is in the mashed potatoes. And so I had to mix the edutainment with the, you know what I mean? So it digests it. Because if I give them this big old piece of meat, they gonna gag on it. So I mixed it real good for them so that it's very digestible.
I hear you coming through the Palms Up platform, spreading all these pearls. Now, I don't know what generation you come through, but my grandmother, she ain't play them games. You wasn't touching that meat till you finished those vegetables, right?
Yes.
And you certainly better not think about touching that drink.
Yes, indeed. Don't drink that drink and don't eat that meat vegetables.
Palms up to you. Now, how did you get into the edutainment industry, so to speak? Is this your first work? Had you worked on other works? How did you decide that you were going to come to write a stage play?
It started way before the stage play, The Emergency Room. I actually this is my second stage play,
okay.
But it would be my first stage play actually being publicized. My first stage play I wrote in 2019 in conjunction with two books entitled The Holy Bible of Superfoods and The Holy Quran of Superfoods. Wow. So the world was locked down in 2020. I want to say like February or March. And during that same period that they locked the world down, my books was in queue to be released on Amazon. Wow. So my goal was to release my two books, The Holy Bible Superfoods and The Holy Quran of Superfoods. And after those books, I was going to do a casting call for my stage play, Don't Worry About What I Eat. So because they locked the world down, my books published, but I couldn't put my play out. So that left me around the house a lot. And I'm very creative. Every 2 years, I'm always putting out a new project. So if you look back at my history, you'll see every 2 years, I'm doing some powerful project. And let me just say something that's noteworthy. I took this path about 34, 35 years ago. And I've helped countless people, athletes, celebrities, Louis Farrakhan, Rock Newman, Dick Gregory, Marion Barry, Vincent Gray, Bryant Westbrook, a lot of common folks, that was plagued with gout, arthritis, HIV, COVID. So they come to me, and I direct them to the most potent fruit, veggies, beans, and grains. And by eating these foods that are high in plant protein and antioxidants, these foods are known to renew your skin cells and tissues, in addition to boosting your immune system, which is key. And and once your immune system is boosted to its highest potential, your immune system tell your cardiovascular, your nervous system, and your respiratory systems all to work at their highest potential. So when people come to me with ills, I put them on powerful superfoods. They eat these powerful superfoods and they notice that their health start to improve. I have one lady that is my dear friend's mom, and she got on my Facebook page because of her son. And her son had told her that I have a lot of information about food. And she first came on my page that she take over 17 pills every day. And she said, I want to get off this medication. So every time I put a post up, she's the first person I saw. Every time I post some food, she was the first person to like it. Now, when I talk to her, she say, Food Lord, I don't take none of the medications no more. I feel good following you, eating the foods that you've been recommended. I still drink my coffee. I still eat a little bit of meat, but I eat more vegetables, more fruits, more nuts, more beans than never before. And as a result of it, my health has tremendously improved. And let me just say to you, Doc, if you have a fish, right? I have this aquarium, and I had this fish that was born from the mother and father in this aquarium. Now, this newborn fish, it comes into this aquarium and it see all of these other fishes swimming in this aquarium. It see all of the beautiful ornaments in this aquarium. The fish plays with the other fish. It eats in the water. It swims in the water. It watch other fish die in the water. Did the fish ever know that the water existed? And it see all of these other fishes. Is that me in the? That's somebody other fish. Okay. So did the fish know that the water was around it? Indeed not. So I liken that to the story of us being born into a population of us eating meat, seafood, cheese, and dairy, whether it's baked, steamed, or fried, whether it come from Whole Foods or Hell's Kitchen. We watch uncles, grandmothers, cousins, moms, brothers, sisters cook, prepare all of these delicious meats, and we've been eating it since we've been on the planet. So we don't know that the meat is harming us of our health, of our wellness. So while we've been eating these foods, as we pace older, we start being plagued. The first things we know, oh, I got to get rid of my gut. Oh, my gut is too big, or arthritis, or migraines, or thyroid or fibroid. So my goal is to let people know that it's no shot to you that you eat the way you eat, because you was born into your family eating that way. So your eyes, we live through words and images. That's what we live by, words and images. And so as we watch people prepare these foods, as we heard them say, you coming over for Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner? So, we've been hearing this and seeing this. So it's no shot to anybody for the way they've been eating. But even a tree grows. So it is imperative that we seek and we grow and we learn and we discover new things. Don't just be the same. If you're the same as you was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, there's been no growth and development in our lives. So in about 1990, started to change my diet. And
I want to stop you for a minute, because there's somebody that is resonating with your story, is resonating with. What was it in 2019 that you decided to change your diet? Was it just you just decided to change your diet, or was there something that might have influenced you to do so?
I ate some roast beef and I couldn't stop farting.
If I ask, you're gonna tell me, right? Palms up. I know somebody out there can relate to that. Come on with
Yes,
it.
I ate roast beef and it upset my stomach so bad that I
Mhm.
made a vow to myself that I will make a change. That's seven texting you. You want to call it? So I made a vow to myself from just that one experience from that roast beef that I was
Mhm.
going to start eating better. And I had no clue on what to do. But dissatisfaction brings about change.
Yes.
And that dissatisfaction, it makes you seek. And I'm a
Yes.
seek. So I started seeking. So I started reading, started researching, started learning, started talking to people that had information that I didn't have. And I kept learning and growing and networking and studying and doing my research until I came to the conclusion of what food is doing to me. So I
Mhm.
started learning the importance of eating fruits, nuts, veggies, beans, and grains. And not, see, you can eat vegetables and stuff, right? But this is the kicker with people that eat vegetables. They eat
Mhm.
vegetables, but they cook all the life out of them.
Yeah.
Or the alternative to that is they eat vegetables, but they're secondary vegetables. They're not primary vegetables. So you have a secondary vegetable and a primary vegetable. And I'm gonna
Okay.
give
Come
you
on.
a difference
Take us
between
to
it.
school now. What's the primary vegetables?
So a primary vegetable is a superfood. For an example, a Brussels sprout is a primary vegetable.
Okay.
Lettuce is a secondary vegetable. Though the lettuce is bigger,
Mhm.
the Brussels sprout has far more potency in it.
Mm.
So
Mm.
just because one is larger than the other, it doesn't mean that it's better.
Mhm.
So a secondary vegetable is like a carrot. A
Right.
carrot don't have that much potency. Like they say, carrots is good for the eyes.
Mhm.
Honestly, say to you in all humility, that's one of the biggest food myths. That carrot
Wow.
good for your eyes.
Wow.
Carrots is a genetically modified food, one of the first genetically modified foods, in conjunction with broccoli and cauliflower. So though people think carrots, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts are good for them, in reality they don't. When you eat cauliflower and broccoli, it breaks down to mucus, and so that's
Mm.
the same thing when you eat your meat, seafood, cheese, and dairy. It breaks down to mucus. So
Wow.
I always encourage people, if you're going to eat vegetables, eat primary vegetables, eat superfoods. I call primary vegetables superfoods like Brussels sprouts, avocados. In fact, my superfoods book I have right here, let me just flash it on the audience. I have two books that I put out in 2020, my last two books, The Holy Bible of Superfoods
Mhm.
and also The Holy Quran of Superfoods. And
What?
both can be found on
Okay.
Amazon.com.
Amazon.com. And those titles again were the Holy Bible of Superfoods. And what's the other one?
The Holy Quran of Superfoods. And
The
both,
Holy Quran. Great. Go ahead. I'm sorry. We have a delay, so I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to make sure we're getting that information out there. A lot of folks may have not had a pen in their hand. So,
okay,
guys, we're talking to Antonio Ford. He's the writer and director of a beautiful stage play that's just come out. We're going to find out how you can get your tickets and come out and support. It's called The Emergency Room. And you hear Mr. Ford speaking about his motivations and inspiration for writing such a play. He's in the business of edutainment. So while you're laughing, he's also trying to teach you something or send you a lesson. He's talking to us about two very informative books that he's written. So please go over to Amazon.com and check out the Holy Bible of Superfoods as well as the Holy Quran of Superfoods. He was just talking to us about the difference between a primary and a secondary vegetable. And I know many of you are having a fit right now. I know you don't want to hear all this stuff, but guys, if we're going to grow, if we're going to elevate as a people, as individuals, and as a culture, as a nation, we've got to get the information properly. We got to get educated. Guys, they're feeding us narratives from our nutrition to our living to our social economics. It's important that you take responsibility so that you can change your life. And Palms Up, on the Palms Up platform, we're big about mental wellness education. Since everybody's so nervous when they hear those words, mental health, let's talk about mental wellness, because there is a level of mental health called preventative. And a lot of what Mr. Ford is speaking on is something that you can do yourself. You can change your diet in order to improve your wellness. So, on the Palms Up platform, we talk about these 8 essentials of wellness. Everything from your emotional wellness to your social wellness, your spiritual wellness, your intellectual wellness, your physical wellness, which is what we're touching on tonight, because your nutrition has everything to do with your physical wellness, your environmental wellness, guys, your financial wellness, your occupational wellness. Guys, it all matters in the scheme of everything. And so we're talking again to Mr. Antonio Ford, who has written a play. Mr. Ford, where would they be able to get tickets to the emergency room from?
I'm going to send you the link to your phone, or they can go to the Boys School of the Performing Arts emergency room, and they can order the tickets there. They can pay at the door. My wife has my phone because I think she corresponded with my son because I'm using her phone to Zoom you.
That's fine. What we'll do is we'll get a link. We'll get a link put up onto the website, guys. So after the show at healthydcandme.org, you guys know the website well, healthydc, spell the word and out, healthydcandme.org. We're going to have a link where you'll be able to click on, and you would be able to get that information from Mr. Ford. And if you're already trying to get that information, you can go to healthydcandme.org, click on the Palms Up TV page, and you'll see Mr. Ford's picture, and you'll see a link that'll take you over to his social media on Facebook. You're welcome to send him a message. I'm sure that he does not have a problem getting a message for a request for tickets. So guys, the play is called The Emergency Room. Mr. Ford has also been known for decades as the Food Lord, and he's been talking to us about his inspiration for doing so. You know how we are about getting this message out. So we talk about the foods that you eat being tied into your mental health and mental wellness challenges. And so tonight's show is meant to educate you, just as all of our shows. Guys, we want you to raise your consciousness so that you can do something different. Take control over your life and your well-being. Hey, Mr. Ford, you were talking at the beginning of the show about having an animal-based, or what we like to understand as an acidic versus an alkaline diet. I would imagine that when we're talking about eating vegetables, just as it's hard for us to switch our habits, even when it's to save our life, it's hard for us to switch our habits to something that's more healthier, that may not taste the way we need it to taste. You talked about Brussels sprouts being a primary super vegetable, and you also talked about the importance of not cooking all of the nutrients out. So you got any quick recipes that they could reference as they begin to embark on this journey to eat better?
Yes, I have a book entitled Cooking with the Food Lord, One Bite at a Time, on Amazon.com. It's a cookbook. It's the first vegan cookbook made exclusively for meat eaters. And the goal was to, while you eating your favorite meat, seafood, cheese, and dairy, you'll have some superfoods, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack options to surround your favorite meat with. Let me drop this little piece about what meat is doing, because this is what people don't know. And then I give you a couple of things about food in addition to elaborate a little bit more about the book.
Okay.
So inside of every human's body, we have what they call the cardiovascular system, right? Mm-hmm. And inside of our bodies is a lot of veins and arteries. So they circulate throughout our bodies. And 3 things travel inside of those arteries. If you can see in your mind a water hose or a straw, and you make that water hose or straw intersect, that's how your arteries are. They intersect, right? And they connect. So the blood pumps the blood and the oxygen around your arteries, right? So blood and oxygen naturally flows in and through your arteries. When you eat your favorite meat, seafood, cheese, and dairy, it leaves plaque, a little bit on your veins. So that plaque builds up and it builds up and it grows, right? And as it continuously grows, it restricts, it slows up the process of the circulation. So you hear people say, oh, the doctor said they had poor circulation. That's because they clog their arteries up with cholesterol. Or a person say, I have high blood pressure. That's because it's so much cholesterol built around the artery wall that the blood and oxygen has to work real hard, where the heart has to pump extra hard to push that blood and oxygen through the veins. That's why blood thinners and stents are so prevalent and common today. So because we're clogging our arteries up to the point of no return, our cardiovascular system is malfunctioning. That's why we have the biggest health disaster in human history going on. Our respiratory system, people getting asthma, the nervous system, mental health, all from our meats. So when you turn on the television will tell you about ba 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 ba, we got the meat, or ba 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 ba.
Where's the beef?
Okay, so all of these commercials, they systematically brainwash us to believe that these are good for us. It's on TV, so it got to be good for us, right? Wrong.
No,
So these programs program our minds to believe that this food is good, and then we go and eat these foods, and then by the time we get 30, a man libido is low. A woman losing her breast, fibroid, thyroid, and so much more. So with the cooking with the food, Lord, one bite at a time, and I have to say in conjunction to this, I have had more conflicts by encouraging people to stop eating meat. So in 2016, I was inspired to make the first vegan cookbook made exclusively for meat eaters. So while you're eating, let's say your breakfast, which is a dead breakfast, bacon and eggs, that's a dead breakfast because it puts cholesterol in your arteries. It doesn't give you life. It kills you off a little bit. So when you cook in your bacon and eggs, don't just eat the bacon and eggs for breakfast. Slice of avocado. That's a superfood. Put a side of berries on it. That's a superfood. Add a smoothie to it. That's a superfood. So while you're eating your dead bacon and eggs, you're also adding something that's alive to it. Avocado, smoothie, or berries. Or let's say your lunch. You eating a steak and cheese, okay? The steak is a killer. The cheese is a killer. And 9 times out of 10, most of the breads out here are very lethal. So you getting a whole death meal. I call restaurants death-a-rolls, but death-a-rants. And I call the cholesterol that come from the meat death-a-roll. So if we're eating steak and cheese for lunch, how about eating a steak and cheese and a fruit salad, or steak and cheese with a slice of spinach or Swiss chard in the middle of the sandwich, as opposed to, you remember that secondary vegetable lettuce, which the potency to it? But instead of eating it with lettuce in the middle, you put a piece of Swiss chard in it, or a piece of kale in it, or some spinach in it. And these vegetables are not just vegetables, but they're super vegetables. They're superfoods. So they're going to give you both protein, plant protein, and antioxidants, the stuff that keeps your circulation circulating. So that's my goal, to keep your circulatory system, which is your cardiovascular system, circulating your blood and oxygen flow.
I love that. Boy, you are a wealth of information. Take a breath for a minute and pause and palms up. Guys, you're listening to Mr. Antonio Ford, aka the Food Lord. And I know if you're just tuning in, I know you looking away because you know we creatures of habit out there. We don't want to hear nobody trying to educate us and raise our consciousness if it means we're going to be inconvenienced. Well, guys, is it inconvenience if it means that you're going to live a little longer? Palms up out there. I hear Mr. Ford talking about creating a balance. If you're going to keep eating the dead stuff, then you want to offset it and balance it with something that's living, something that's going to help you and keep you circulating. I heard Mr. Ford reference the fact that in the African American community, I mean, let's face it, this knowledge is for everyone, right? But I cannot ignore or get past the fact that I'm an African American woman. And because of that, I am paying attention also to the issues that specifically impact and affect our communities negatively. Cardiovascular, you heard him mention, asthmatic. Many of you are asthmatic out there. Diabetic, the diabetes is running rampant in our communities. Kidney failure, I'm sorry?
All reversible. Proceed.
Yeah. Great. And so that's why we do this show, because just because you don't know doesn't mean that you can't change the status quo. And that's what we're talking about tonight, raising the consciousness of our people in order that we can raise and elevate the culture, guys. Knowledge is power out there. Now I was saying cardiovascular, asthmatic, diabetic, kidney failure, i.e. dialysis processes. We got our women that are passing from giving birth even, and we've got third-party understandings as to what's going on with our health. And the base or the core of much of it could just be about what you eat. We know about the trauma research, and we understand that there are other elements, but we can do something, all of us, by just looking at our diet. You heard Mr. Ford talk about lettuce and carrots and cauliflower and broccoli turning to mucus. Well, I tell you what, if that carrot or that lettuce already looked like the mucus that it's going to turn into, you think twice before you reached over to pick it up, wouldn't you? And when we talk about raising the consciousness, nobody want to go back to slavery, right? Well, slavery is still happening present day. It's just that the shackles are not on your ankles or your hands. The shackles are on your mind. So you got to free yourself. And the only way you free yourself is to get the knowledge out there, palms up. Hey, Mr. Ford, before we pick you back up, I want to bring my overseer into the conversation because I can only imagine what she hearing and what she got to say. Palms up to you, sis. You got that volume working?
Is it working now?
Oh, there she is. There she is. Palms up, queen. Hey, what you hearing? What you want to add to the show this week?
I have to agree with him because I was kind of start changing my eating habits, and Brussels sprouts is one thing that I really love. And when I do my subs, I do put spinach because lettuce is just a waste of time. So it's nice to hear I'm going down the right path. And I'm getting, so I don't like processed lunch meat no more. I want, fresh stuff. So it's good. We do need to change because I suffer with asthma and stuff. So change, my doctor talked to me about dairy products and stuff like that and not doing it. So he really on track. It's just finding creative recipes with it because we wasn't taught how to cook with natural produce in a good way. We want to salt everything down and stuff like that. So it's very interesting. I would love to know some type of recipes so to give it a little zest.
Well, let's plug the book again, Mr. Ford. That's that Cooking with the Food Lord, right? She wants some recipes. Tell her where she can get some good recipes at and where she can find that book.
Well, you can go to Amazon.com and you can find Cooking with the Food Lord, one bite at a time. It has breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack options up in there. So
awesome. Now, come on, you wanted to say something else to us. Come on, Mr. Ford, we appreciate you.
The number one thing I would encourage every listener to do is to cleanse out your colon. We are packed with age-old dead animals. If you're 40, you got 30 years of packed meat in you. If you're 50, You got
Come
40 years of packed meat in you. If you're 60, you got 50 years of packed age-old dead animals sitting in your colon, causing disease, and it's just rotting your gut, your gastrointestinal, and
Mm.
your colon.
My
So
God, my God.
this is one of my greatest jewels right here. I recommend everybody, Serena, can you get that prune juice out of the refrigerator for daddy, please? If I recommend that everyone go and get them some Sunsweet prune juice, pour 4 to 6 ounces in a coffee or tea cup, put it on the stove, warm it up, but absolutely do not boil it. Sunsweet, not from concentrate.
Okay.
If you drink 4 to 6 ounces of prune juice 1 hour before bed for 21 days, the prune juice will push all of those age-old dead animals out of your colon.
Mm. Mm.
Stomach go, it make their booty grow. They get totally excited. Oh, look, my booty came back. For guys haven't seen their shoes or their love life in years. And that prune juice, it flattens that stomach up. Now, this is the key reason that I recommend that you drink it 1 hour before bed. Because you're active an hour before bed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lay down, you drunk this prune juice while it was warm. Not hot, but not to a boil, but warm, very, very warm, right? If you boil it, you cooking the nutrients out, and I don't want you to do that. But I want you to drink it warm because it's most effective. Now, when you lay down that night, that hot prune juice is working on the floor of your colon. So it's getting all of those crevices. If you know what a colon look like, you know that your colon has a lot of crevices, right? So it sits in those, it start getting those crevices, breaking that age-old dead meat loose from around the floor of your colon, right? And because you drunk it hot, the vapors is working on the ceiling of your colon. The next morning when you wake up, don't go check your phone. Don't go look out the window. You go directly to that bathroom. Okay? And I want you to, when you wake up in the morning, drink a half a cup of water or a bottle of water. And once you get on day 5, 6, thank you, 7, 8, you're going to notice that your skin is going to be shinier. You're going to notice that your fingernails keep growing. You're going to have to keep cutting them. And when you cut them, they're going to make a louder sound than they ever made before. Because the nutrients, once you get the poisons out your body start renewing itself. The ultimate driver machine, which isn't the BMW, but your body, once you cleanse that colon from that prune, with that prune juice, you're going to notice that you're faster. You're going to notice that you can focus more. You can notice that you're not frustrated easily. You're going to notice that you're not breathing heavy. You're going to notice that your asthma is not irritating. You're going to notice that your love life is working. You're going to notice that your back is hurting, and so much more. You're going to notice that your hair is growing thick. You're going to notice that your energy level, you're going to have energy that you had when you was a child. You know how you can stay outside all day, rip and run, and don't hardly eat that much, and then go in and eat dinner and go to bed and sleep all night. That's the effect of the prune juice, okay? So once you cleanse your colon of the prune juice, second process is starting your day, and I'm not going to haggle you about what's your second meal, but your first meal. If you could start your day with a salad, with the base being either kale, Swiss chard, or spinach. The second food that you're going to put over top of the Swiss chard, the kale, or the spinach are cucumbers. Cucumbers are loaded with antioxidants. It has B1, B2, B3, B6, B4, and many more vitamins and nutrients. I tell people that like to eat multivitamins, eat a cucumber because it has multiple vitamins in it. So in your salad, the base is kale, Swiss chard, or spinach. You putting cucumbers on it, a little red onion, and whatever other fixings that you want to put on it. But 3 things I encourage you not to put on it: a milk-based dressing, meat, or animal cheese. And if you can alleviate the milk salad, the milk-based salad dressing, the cheese, or the meat, and just eat that exclusive salad. Like for me, my wife made a salad for me last night. It had sunflower seeds, Swiss chard, kale, spinach, cucumber, red onions, and what was the little stuff? Chia seeds? Yes. Chia seeds in it.
Nice.
And it was an amazing salad. And they said, well, Food Lord, where am I going to get my protein? You can get protein from beans. You can get protein from Brussels sprouts, kale, Swiss chard. You can get protein from all kinds of plants and nuts, walnuts, Brazilian nuts, hazelnuts. So you don't have to look to meat for your protein. So
all right. Go ahead.
If you start your day off with that salad, watch your health started to improve.
So you know what? You saying some awesome stuff, and don't even get me wrong, but I'd be wrong if I didn't address or ask the question for my Whopper lovers out there, for my Big Mac lovers out there. I can't even sit here and act like it's going to happen overnight. So let me just let them off the hook and ask you the question. Are you, or in your diet or in your cooking, where do you stand with things like tofu, or they got this Impossible Whopper, or it's not meat, or, you know, veggie burger? What do you say to any of that?
Stay away from it as far as you can.
Palms up.
Let me tell you first about the Impossible meat is no other than soy meat. The tofu is none other than soy. Soy raises your estrogen. That's the stuff that causes you to get breast cancer for women, and for men, prostate cancer. And also the soy makes them feminine. It also makes men grow boobs. That's why you see a lot of men now with lady breasts, because they're consuming so much soy that it's and making their chest look like breasts. A lot of guys put bras on and they ain't gay. They just growing a lot of breasts from all of the soy that they're consuming. So if you're going, let's say for an example, eat your steak, make sure you put a piece of a red onion on it. That's the key. So I would rather you eat a real food than a soy food, right? The soy food is processed. Processed food is dead food. No matter how organic or natural it is, it's processed. And any processed food, it has an adverse effect on your ultimate driving machine. Again, the ultimate driving machine isn't the BMW, but rather your body. And if you learn how to fuel that ultimate driving machine properly, or half properly, or close to being properly, you'll see better results in your body, as opposed to just eating that meat in and of itself and by itself. Or if you're going to put vegetables with it, you cook all the life out of it, so you strangle the nutrients out of it.
My God, my God. Mr. Ford, you are just a wealth of knowledge. Palms up to you. I tell you, we say palms up, Mr. Ford, in case you didn't know, because that's our way of just giving shouts. A shout out to God for being in control. We heard something intellectual, something enlightening. We just can't take it anymore. We put our hands up to God. So our palms up is just basically saying word. That's what we say.
Yes,
We say palms up and we give God the glory and the honor when we can be enlightened as we are this evening. Guys, it's your girl, and palms up. We're talking to the Food Lord, aka Mr. Antonio Ford, and you can look him up on Facebook. And absolutely, yes, that's him. He's the writer and the director of the stage play Emergency Room. And you're going to be able to get tickets and information if you just go follow him on Facebook, or if you go to healthydcandme.org, click the palms up page, and you'll be able to also reach out to him. We're going to get that link on our site so you guys can directly know where to go get tickets. Please forgive me, for the show. Now, when is the show exactly? When is the stage play?
It's August 5th. It's 2 shows, from 2 to 4 and from 6 to 8. I want to share with you.
Go ahead. Come on.
Come here, Bina. Come here. Hey, big boy. Come here. Come here, Mocha. I got 2 Pomeranians.
Oh, boy.
So, you remember what I said about eating meat and how it leaves cholesterol in you?
Mm-hmm.
This is the secret about meat. When you eat an animal, and they eat dogs too. So when you eat an animal, my dog giving you the palms.
Hey, palms up. That's all right. I haven't had a dog palms up yet. That's a first. Yeah. What's the baby's name?
So when you eat an animal, the animal come back for revenge. This is the thing about animals. You eat, the animal comes back and and leave cholesterol in your arteries and leave its flesh in your colon. And so as it gradually build up, the animals say, if you gonna kill me, I'm gonna kill you.
Oh, come on, Mr. Ford. Palms up. No wonder you writing them critically acclaimed plays and all these books. Hey guys, it's Antonio Ford, aka the Food Lord, talking to us about getting healthy, raising our conscious levels so that we can advance in our own independent livings and then move our communities forward, guys. Mr. Ford has written a couple of books, the Holy Bible of Superfoods, as well as the Holy Quran of Superfoods. He's also got a Cooking with the Food Lord cookbook, so that when you make the conscious decision, the necessary decision, the immediate decision, to stop eating them animals out there. So if you don't kill them, then they won't be able to kill you. Lord, palms up. That's a word and that's a message. And all of his books are on Amazon.com. The play is going to be August the 5th and the 6th. Do I have that right?
August 5th from 2 to 4 and from 6 to 8.
Okay, so there are 2 shows on August the 5th. Guys, there's going to be a link on the healthydcandme.org website, as well as you can look up Mr. Ford on Facebook. Guys, it's your girl. Guys, we're going to keep bringing this knowledge before you. You know our platform. We're about educating, spreading awareness, challenging you to do something different so that you can live in the preventative understanding of your health, your wellness, as well as your mental faculties, guys. There are a lot of things we're dealing with in our community. The guns are going off. The PTSD is rampant. There are a lot of things we just don't have control over, but we can control our diet. We can control the things that we're going to choose to put in our bodies. I mean, aren't you worth it? Aren't our children worth it? Mr. Ford, I tell you, you done came through this platform and put it in such a way that I got to go in my freezer and see what's going on. Because I tell you, when you know better, you're supposed to do better. And once you learn something, you can't unlearn it. So that means you keep going forward knowing that you're reaching for death. But you're going to go ahead and do it because it's pleasing to you. It feels good to you. Well, you got to get rid of that status quo out there if you're trying to live palms up. Tonight's show is about advancing the culture. We can't do anything different if we're not learning anything different. And in those uncomfortable places and spaces are where we're growing and when we're able to do something different. Hey, palms up out there. I want to take care of some business before we hear some wrap up from Mr. Ford. I am so enlightened and so thankful that beautiful Joanne, palms up to you, sis, out there. Thank you for getting Mr. Ford in our direction, because you know we need it, because I'm trying to get this belly to go so my butt can grow. I think I heard that right, palms up. I'm paying attention. It's your girl. It's your girl. You know we're not going to steer you wrong. We love our community heroes because this is how we take our power back. We don't need third-party understandings that don't have our best interest at heart. And with that said, guys, one of the things on the list that we're talking about, this cardiovascular that's constantly before us, the asthmatic realities, the diabetes, the kidney failures, the things that we're dealing with in our communities, the stress and depression that we're carrying, the anxiety. Guys, just suppose we told you that you could do something different by changing your diet, that you can reverse your understanding. And everything doesn't happen overnight, and everybody has a different journey, but we can all choose to do something more healthier for our own well-being. Guys, it's your girl on the Palms Up Show. We're going to keep tackling these 80 centers of wellness. We're going to be everywhere. We're going to challenge what you think you know about mental health, because see, what we keep telling you, yesterday's understanding are not helping today's families of trauma, okay? And what we've got to do is be realistic about what we're now understanding and how we're going to gravitate forward so we as a culture can elevate. Hey, Mr. Ford, tell us anything that I didn't remember to ask you about the play, anything you think we should understand about it, and then also your journey with food, what's on the horizon. Just talk to us a little bit about what we can expect in the future coming from you.
Oh, I'm totally inspired to. I aspire to inspire others. That's my thing right there. My motto is help somebody besides yourself. Mm-hmm. I have other books. I don't just have I have about 9 books.
Wow, palms up, so
over the years. Mm-hmm. I do want to say one other thing. It just slipped my mind that I wanted to share with you all. Let me give you our 5 foods that I recommend y'all consume.
All right, I got my pen. Y'all got your pen out there? This is knowledge. Come on, Mr. Ford.
A lot of people that have high blood pressure, if they get the plaque off their artery walls, that could help their blood pressure medication get thrown in the trash. So the plaque on the artery walls, again, comes from our favorite meat, seafood, cheese, and dairy, right? And that's, if blood and oxygen don't get to your heart, you have a heart attack. If blood and oxygen don't get to your brain, you have a stroke. If blood and oxygen don't get to your skin cells and tissues, you get breast cancer, prostate cancer, and so much more. Okay? Mm-hmm. So 5 foods to help your ultimate driver machine to get back in line with itself. The first food is fresh turmeric. I say turmeric because we're a culture that love to eat tons and tons of meat. We have competitions. I'm going to eat 95 chicken wings.
What you talking about? The hot dog challenge. Woo!
So the turmeric is essential because the turmeric is like, you remember Pac-Man, the game Pac-Man? How Pac-Man would the pieces away. Well, when you consume that turmeric, fresh turmeric, it chomps that cholesterol off your artery and vein. So that's the number 1 food I want to recommend.
Okay.
The number 2 food is ginger root. Ginger root is very high in antioxidants. It's good for sinus. It's good for nasal issues. It's good for inflammation. It's good for asthma and so much more. So the second food is ginger root. because it's high in antioxidant. And all of the foods that I mentioned are all superfoods, and they are high in both protein and antioxidants. Okay. The third food, and I won't make this the third food, I'm just add this as a conjunction. The third food is aloe vera leaf. Everybody got sinus issues out here. Aloe vera leaf has like a slimy gel inside of it, right? You got sinus real bad, allergies real bad. You can snort some of that. You can draw that slime up in a syringe, or you could take a fork and twirl some of it in on a fork to get on a spoon and snort some of it up in your nose. You snort or eat that gel inside of that aloe vera leaf, just about an inch size portion. You consume that in your mouth, swallow it, you'll feel your nasals drain. Wow, it's clear. Same thing with the ginger root. You'll notice that your sinuses open all the way up. And again, these are superfoods. They do more than just that one particular thing that I'm saying. It does multiple things for the ultimate driving machine. But I had to throw that one out there because this is the time of the year that people are taking more Claritin and all these other sinus medications that come with mad side effects. And I don't want you to have side effects. And if you do have a side effect, the side effect is the good feeling you got from eating these foods.
Okay. Amen. Palms up to that. All right, so we had two in a conjunction. Come on, I'm with you.
Okay, so the third food is watermelon with seeds. Let me say this with the greatest emphasis, the greatest enthusiasm, and I got a billion exclamation points following these words. Okay. Watermelon with seeds. Let me reiterate myself. Watermelon with seeds. Seeded fruit are natural. Seedless fruits are death food. You can't produce the food again if it don't have seeds, so it don't have life in it. So if you eat a watermelon that don't have seeds, you're creating tumors and cancers. If you eat grapes with seeds, it don't have seeds in it, you're creating tumors and cancers. If you eat oranges today or bananas today, they don't have seeds. My wife would tell you, when I first met her, I would drink a gallon of orange juice in probably a day and a half's time. I absolutely love orange juice, but I stopped drinking it. Because if the oranges don't have the seeds in it, what about the orange juice? If the grapes don't have seeds in it, what about the wine? So are you drinking wine that's going to calm your health, not better for you? You know, they used to say that wine is good for you, you know. But if you eat wine that came from seedless grapes, then it's not good for you. So watermelon with seeds. Please, I encourage your listeners, please discontinue seedless fruits. And I got a motto. You can say it with me. If it don't have seeds, we don't eat. If it don't have, we don't
have seeds, we don't eat. Mr. Ford, back up off the camera so we can make sure they see you a bit more. There you go. Okay. So come on, that's good. You know, we either gonna be really popular or we're gonna be in the tube because there's some knowledge for palms up. Thank you very much. Come on, watermelon seeds, and we're agreeing out there that we're not eating any more seedless fruit. All right, we're with you.
So now we're on fruit number 4. This is a fruit. Okay, this fruit is called pomegranates.
I knew that.
The pomegranate is one of the most potent fruits that you can find in America that's grown in America. It is in fact the most powerful food that grows in America.
Wow.
The pomegranate is a very, very powerful antioxidant that's known to boost your immune system. And in the era of sickness and disease, it is imperative that we keep our immune system very strong. And you
Yeah.
can't get strong by nothing but food. Okay?
Okay.
The next food, Swiss chard and Brussels sprouts. These two foods are protein and antioxidant. I like, my wife like sear my Brussels sprouts. If you ever had some seared Brussels sprouts, you know they are delicious.
Yes,
right?
they are.
She make the best seared Brussels sprouts on the planet. In terms of my Swiss chard, I like to eat it raw. I cut it up in my salad as the base of my salad, or if I'm really feeling gully, I just eat me some Swiss chard like you eat some Now Laters or Doritos.
Wow.
Okay?
You know, Mr. Ford, I let us run over because it's too important. Some things in life we just got to stay put for and make sure we get this knowledge. And tonight is one of those nights. So thank you to all our viewers out there, palms up out there. Thanks for hanging in there with us. This is some good information. Guys, fresh turmeric, TUMERIC, was the first recommendation from our Mr. Antonio Ford, the food lord. The second thing was ginger root. Third thing, aloe vera leaf. Okay. Watermelon with seeds and any fruits with seeds at this point. No fruits without seeds. Pomegranate, very powerful fruit. And Swiss chards and Brussels sprouts. So there you go. There's your list. And I know you're saying, what we're going to do with all this? Well, you're going to go to Amazon.com and you're going to look up the Holy Bible. You got to help me out here. I got all these notes. Oh, there you go. The Holy Bible of superfoods. And then the Holy Quran of superfoods, as well as the Cooking with the Food Lord book. And as you heard Mr. Ford say, he's got many other books that he's written. So he's just a scholar. He's just a boss like that, palms up. And he's not holding on to this information. He's sharing it. So you guys have no reason out there not to take control. And you don't have to take big steps. Take baby steps, but do something different, because to do it the same way and expect the results to be different, it's just insanity. And you can take it from your girl, the mental health outreach. You know, I'm gonna tell you what it is, guys. Guys, today's show has been all about you. It's been all about getting you more knowledge so that we can raise the consciousness of how we're operating. We're living in third-party understandings. And if that's the case, at least make sure that they're validated. At least make sure that the information you're getting is for your well-being. We're dealing with a lot in our communities out there, palms up. You heard me say at the top of the hour, with a council and a mayor fighting, and you guys are still hearing that the guns are going off. We're still understanding the state of homelessness. There are things that we can be doing despite our failed leadership or stalled leadership understanding. And everything that we speak of on the Palms Up platform, everything that I communicate is our opinion, our views. But you know, I ran for mayor for a reason, because we got to do something different to change the status quo. So I don't mind giving it to you straight and being transparent. Guys, mitv.fyi is our public service announcement website page, and we are giving you some information about dialysis. It was very important for us to be able to understand Mr. Ford's breakdown on this food situation, because we're dealing with a lot of health situations in our communities. And I'll say it and I'll say it again: the shackles may not be on your feet or your ankles or your hands, but they certainly are in our minds if we continue to do things even after we have the knowledge to hurt ourselves. So guys, I want you to go to www.healthydcandme.org in order for you to be able to keep up with all that we're doing in the community. mitv.fyi is a public service announcement. Go and sign up. We're going to Congress to help our families of dialysis to be able to request regulation and other things. So we are also going to Congress on July 28th down at the Rayburn building. So if you want to get more information, mitv.fyi. We are no longer willing to watch our citizens and our communities perish. So we're constantly bringing before you vessels of information, right? Bosses in their own respect that are willing to come back and share this knowledge so you can begin to take different steps in your living. It's your girl, it's your girl. Hey, overseer, what say you before we get out of here? You want to unmute? There you go.
let's change our eating habits and let's become healthier so our latter days will be our greater days.
Go ahead.
Amen. Amen. Hey guys, if you're tired of an unjust world, tired of an unjust society, tired of unjust governing, then step out in the forefront and take your power back. Pass up that fast food restaurant. Get to that grocery store, those farmers markets, or those fresh fruit stands and veggie stands, and start to challenge yourself to do something to change your life for the better. And you heard Mr. Ford say, if you're going to eat that dead stuff, you might as well offset it with something living. I tell you, I think it was the dogs that did it for me, Mr. Ford. Because you ain't never said nothing wrong when you say you eat those animals. They're going to come back and they're going to do something to you too. So don't think that you on top of the food chain, because they'll take you down, palms up. You see all the things we're dealing with in our communities. And the name of that play is called The Emergency Room. Not only is he a wonderfully educated, caring soul in the understanding of educating us about this food reality. And I hope you guys learned something tonight, because I sure did. He's also a respected playwright and a director, and also an author of at least, what did I hear, 12 books, I think I counted, or 9, he said. But we definitely want to make certain that it's 9 total to include the other 3. Okay, so it's 9 total, and 3 of those books you've heard us talk about tonight. Please go on to Amazon.com and look up Mr. Ford and support him. Go on to Facebook and look up Mr. Ford and support him. And definitely come out to the play, The Emergency Room. As you heard him say, he's in the business of edutainment. So it's going to be funny. Hey, Mr. Ford, give me some of those character names again before we get out of here.
Neckbone Rollins with 2 Ks. That's Neckbone with 2 Ks. That's Miss Chan. Reverend Cheese from Fatback Tabernacle Episcopal Church, and a Hershey bar.
Hey, Soldier, palms up to you. The name of that play is called The Emergency Room. Shout out to our beautiful queens out there, Joanne and Lacey, and all of the other beautiful folks out there that are watching us, that are following us, that are sharing this feed, because knowledge is power, and we are taking our power back. Remember those 5, or actually I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fresh turmeric, TUMERIC, ginger root, aloe vera leaf, watermelon with seeds, and if you're going to eat the fruit, it better have some seeds. Pomegranate, Swiss chard, and Brussels sprouts. All right, palms up out there. Stop eating that dead food without doing something different to change your life. Mr. Ford, it has been such an honor. Such an honor. I'm so impressed. I'm going to be Googling you and stalking your page and trying to figure out what we need to do to not only help myself, but the communities and the lives that we're touching, because you ain't did nothing but come through here and spread some real knowledge. And if that's not going to help us move our culture forward, then I can't imagine what else would. Palms up to you and your beautiful family. Special shout out to the Mrs. for helping you to get on this feed tonight, because that's what it's all about. Sometimes it just takes a village to get this word out, but that's okay. We never gonna give up. We old school. Palms up to you, Mr. Ford. Good luck with the play, and just know that we're looking forward to following you and following the movement to healthy. It's your girl out there. Palms up. See you guys next week.